You're looking pretty, girl. I love that blouse. That's the one I bought for you?
Don't make me laugh.
Okay. I will make you laugh.
Don't make me laugh, Nancy.
Okay, darling.
This is Arlene, our wonderful cousin from Italy.
Uh-huh.
Arlene, see, I'm wearing your beautiful blouse you gave me for Christmas. Thank you very much.
Yes, Arlene. Thank you very much for being my cousin and for taking care of Louise, my wife. So what we have today?
So we have some nice cavalli fish.
Wow.
All the way my brother brought from Caracas.
Mm-hmm.
See, I don't only just get gifts from friends, you know. I get from family too.
Of course.
All the way from Caracas, fresh food. When this fish was cooking, it was jumping up in the pot.
What? It was
That
alive?
is what you call it, Caracas fish. Jumping up in the pot. Shanta, I know you're more watering.
What kind of fish?
Cavalli, boy.
Oh, yeah.
Cavalli, lemon. All right. So how many scoops of rice would you like? This is
Just give me a half again, please.
basmati,
Just a
white
half.
rice.
Right, yes.
It's
Beautiful.
always good with curry.
Mm.
Cook with basmati white rice. Cook with a cupful of love. Never forget the love.
Never forget it.
The love is what makes all the difference in the cooking. So we have Mr. Lancy.
This is some gravy.
Man, eat man, nice fish from the Caracas.
Okay, fair enough.
Cook with love, cup full of love, and plenty surah accordingly. Plenty curry surah.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Sana ain't ready to eat yet.
Okay.
So the plan is, it's such a beautiful Saturday, but now I've noticed like the rain is very overcast overhead.
It's on the hills already.
Yeah.
But that's okay. We're safe inside.
But I went to pick up the spread outside from the sun.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Okay, so we shift now to the table.
That's right.
Oh, Louisa, thank you very much for this wonderful meal.
Hey, boy, we matching, man.
Yes, that is, when you live long together, you do things automatically together, right?
And you just get to resemble too.
Yes.
I'm so glad you get to look like me.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Yes, so this is to our Saturday date. I promised Mama Lou I will take her on a date. She did all the cooking, and I did all the setting of the table.
I brought the food to the table.
I brought the food to the table.
Love to you, all of you.
Last of the sorrel.
Homegrown in Cora.
So, think it's quietly say it, right?
So every day is Valentine's Day.
Every day is Valentine's Day around here. You have your saucer here, mommy, for your bones. Cavalli from your carcass. Can't go wrong. Delicious.
Shanta and Tony, I can't help but call all your name, eh? Because I know all the dribbling.
Excuse me. Tamarind chutney goes good with curry.
Very good. Basmati rice.
Basmati rice. Today being Saturday, I was trying to remember, in fact, not trying to remember, I was reminded of my days at the Express. My days at the Express on a Saturday Saturday was a hard day to work, exciting, but a Sunday was the worst day because Sunday I had to leave Louise at home with the kids, and when I got to work with a full tummy, it was tiresome not to fall asleep, and it was quiet in Port of Spain, very, very, very quiet.
On a Sunday?
Yes.
But not anymore.
Well, I don't know. I haven't been around Port of Spain for a long spell on a Sunday. But you know, very good mom. I was very much aware that on a Saturday, usually I would come before marriage anyway, come down to the Express, have to go and buy something in Port of Spain, and what would it be? Usually it might be egg and chips, or fish and chips, or
And that's
chicken
not
and
evening
chips.
time.
No, lunchtime.
So you just eat home before you go?
I used to
How
walk,
come?
remember I used to walk out of Cora?
But I thought mother used to cook for you before you go.
The day that I didn't eat home, most times, Saturday was a tough day. And then when I got married, Sunday was even tougher. Now to write headlines when you're feeling out of sorts is one of the most difficult things to do. Nowadays, if you're making a video and you want to put a caption, you have all the time in the world to do it. Because you can stop, you can wind back and see what you produce, and then you can fiddle around with captions. And I used to think that I could still write the same kind of captions that I did, or headlines like I did at the Express. But it turned out that that wasn't so. Lyndon showed me, and Sandra did also, that there's a difference in writing a caption for, for YouTube as against a newspaper. For instance, I'll tell you, if I had to write a caption for this meal, and I know the essential is Louise is here, we're having a Saturday date, and cavalli is cooked with basmati rice.
And love.
Right? Somewhere along the line, you're trying to incorporate cavalli, you're trying to incorporate the love, you're trying to incorporate, the setting, and therefore you have a more challenge on your hand to make it. But I would say that writing captions for YouTube channels is not as exciting as writing for a newspaper because you're limited in your space.
Right.
For a newspaper, for instance, a front page headline, because you're using a bold type, you have to really be crisp, and words have to be very. Because when you blow it up to draw the attention of the passerby, the vendor has to sell and display his paper, you have to be very, very crisp. But not so, it seems, with YouTube headlines or captions, as they call them. We knew captions to be something that was inserted under a photograph. Like, let me say, Mr. Rowley talking to Mr. Pandey, and you say, well, wherever they were, that's a caption. But yet they keep calling these things here in YouTube captions. We know them as headlines. However, there's one subject I want to bring up as regards newspaper work. But it also has a ring. This is red, tasting good, Mom.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
There is an element of, I was reading this morning, and it says, don't be too anxious to step into the huge gap left by someone else. Someone else. When I was asked to do the evening paper, there was a man from South, and I rate him really high, Jerome Tangley. I don't know if Jerome is still alive, but Jerome, if ever you see this, if anybody ever tells you, you earn my respect as a reporter, as an editor. You were also a news editor, and you became the editor of the Sun newspaper. And when you left, it was a huge gap that was left behind. And when I was asked by Ken Gordon to fill that
So
gap,
you replaced him?
yes, I did. Right? When I was asked by Ken Gordon to, to fill in the gap left by Jerome, I tell you the truth, I never felt competent enough to do it. Jerome was a very competent young man from the Southland.
Come from Soju.
Southerners, they say, bright, huh?
Smart.
But this question about trying to fill the gap of a predecessor. Sometimes even in marriage, a second marriage might work that way. Assuming that the first person in the marriage was very efficient, maybe not amicable enough that the marriage lasted, but there would have been a separation, and the second person comes along. They say that you must be very patient with your own talent to equal your predecessors, to work twice as much as that person.
So do you try to live in the person's shadow?
No, you don't. But you be as...
You're talking about a divorce case or
Perhaps a divorce case. Perhaps a divorce case.
Yeah, or a widow.
Okay.
I would think that it would be difficult if it's a widow from the point of view, or widower comparison of the previous partner. But if it's a divorcee, anybody else you will think surpass your husband or your wife in the second marriage.
Say that again. Let me get that clear.
You are saying, and the son that we was talking about marrying a divorcee, that you would want to surpass or equal
The talents or whatever virtues that person
but
has.
for them to have divorced, it meant they didn't do well together.
That might be so for them.
So to try to even think of emulating or anything would be bad. Because if you try to emulate him, the very said things that probably was a problem for his wife, you trying to do it now.
I suppose that argument may be acceptable.
You know?
But the thing I'm thinking, I'm trying to get at is this. The same way I had to learn to come up to scratch, right? Without being conscious that Jerome was really the more superior person for the job. One has to forget the superiority of your predecessor and work with what you have.
But Lancy, that probably is a different
Ball game?
ball game to remarrying.
No?
You don't think so?
I don't know.
Because you are talking about a job going to replace someone who was very efficient. So you start off with a challenge, wanting to be equal to him, or even want to surpass his ability.
And that's what I was saying.
But in a marriage, you don't want to be equal with the first person.
No.
Because the first person failed anyway. So what I'm trying to say is a different mindset, don't you think?
I don't know, I was really trying to get around into incorporating the aspect of the predecessor and not trying to fill the gap as that person had it.
Well, I would think that
But to work,
right. But I would think that might quicker come in line of a person whose partner died than remarrying. You understand
all
what
right.
I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, let me hear your thoughts. Come.
Yeah, no, this is your topic. But what I'm saying is, you mentioned that your predecessor in your job
Yeah.
was efficient, well respected, and you admired him.
Right.
Okay, so it means you would like to take a page from his book. So you want to be like him.
Yeah, but I couldn't be like him. I had to develop my own instincts
Okay.
for the job.
Okay, I thought you were trying
No.
emulate him.
No. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Gotcha.
You really cannot fill that huge gap left by trying to be the person. Oh, you may as well call the guy back with a job.
Yeah.
Right?
And then you would not be who you are.
Precisely.
You'll be living in his shadow.
So that's what I'm saying. It would be good to be yourself and develop yourself into something. And perhaps this is a problem that might exist, where people try to maybe impress others. You go into a marriage, you try to impress your partner that you want to do this, you want to do that, you're capable of doing this, but just be yourself.
Take it or leave it.
Yes.
Before.
Yes. Just be yourself in your marriage.
Or else, and if you are being yourself and it is not the standard of your partner, so it's either you take it or you leave it.
No.
And if you take it, you have to accept this is what's in the package.
Right here, what?
And if you can't accept that in the package, then you have to realize that this is not going to work for me.
But I believe that one of the solutions could be you have to sit down and discuss what you are capable of, and the other partner that has great expectations must also sit down and look at himself and tell whether he or she is demanding too much.
So you're doing that before marriage.
A lot of things happen after marriage. So if you get married,
But then, after you get married and you realize that it's not working out, then you're going to lead to a divorce. So you should know certain things before you get married.
but it is almost impractical to know everything. Eh?
I know that. We'll see if people pretending.
Let's move to the second phase. And this is something we have discussed before. You know, some people find it very hard to say sorry.
Yes.
Some people find it.
Even in little children, you see it. And if as a little child, you cannot say you're sorry, you will grow into an adult that will not be able to say you're sorry.
And sometimes just saying sorry doesn't mean that you are a coward. It doesn't mean that you're soft. It doesn't mean that you don't have backbone.
At all.
As a matter of fact, the backbone can become. The backbone is there when you say sorry.
That's right. Because we all make mistakes along the way in life. We will all make mistakes. And a mistake is sometimes you don't even know you made a mistake. Right? But once pointed out to you that, hey, you said something I didn't appreciate, just say you're sorry. And the person, and you could move on.
Well, you know that.
But if that become an offense to point out you did something and don't appreciate how you said it,
right.
not what you said, but your manner, how you said it, I don't appreciate that. You say you're sorry, and you try in future not to make the same mistake. You will maybe make a mistake again, but at least your partner will see you're making an effort to fix certain, maybe it's a weakness in you, to miss some mistakes, see, sometimes talk out of turn, sometimes say something you shouldn't say, sometimes you say it in a manner you should not have said it, sometimes you give up body language that somebody real, and you will say, but I'll never tell you anything, but the body language said it all.
Mommy, excuse me, huh? Do you know it has been discovered that a lot of couples don't indulge in saying sorry?
So how do they pick up the broken pieces?
That's the problem.
You wait till it crash down,
That's the problem.
then it's too late. Yeah, but I think that saying sorry is a training that comes from home.
Home.
As parents, if your children, you see a behavior exercise by one of your children, as a parent, you suppose you no longer could beat children, but you sit them down and tell them that behavior that I have seen that you put on there is not acceptable. And you ought to tell your sister or your brother you're sorry. And that child, there's some children will never say they're sorry. And that's a bad sign. Because they are going into adult, not being able to say they're sorry. And they are going to make a mess of their marriage. That is it.
You want this piece?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm kind of full right now.
Okay, so what, you will have it later? And if you forget to have it?
You will have it. I'll put it away.
You don't want me saying sorry later, right?
No. Yeah. This was the spoon you thought you put for me.
Okay. Yes, my dear girl.
So really and truly,
Can you take that there, have me, Louise?
I would say that training to say you're sorry comes from here. Parents, it will be good to teach your children. But how can you teach your children? How can you teach your children what you yourself don't know?
Okay.
That's always a big question. You can't teach someone that you don't, you yourself.
Are you going to use that?
Yeah, that's a little bit. You cannot teach your children what you yourself never learned.
Okay.
But if you recognize that's a good idea to be able to say you're sorry, you could work on it. Well, I tell you, this is the best soursop
You've ever sour
I have ever eaten since I've been eating soursop.
Soursop.
All the way from the carcass, from my sister-in-law.
Expensive stuff these days, eh?
Thank you so much, Ineda.
Tell me, how much is a soursop fetching now?
A soursop like this should be over $100. You want like that size, man?
And here's another.
$100.
My goodness.
$30 a pound.
We used to walk out in the yard. The old man had planted a soursop tree. I remember picking soursop like this and sitting under the tree and sampling some of it before I took it inside.
And what you all did? Make juice.
Yes, but I particularly like it off the
But
tree
you
as it
know,
is.
in the carcass, we had a soursop tree too, that the carcass soursop really do well. And
You know.
whenever we get a ripe soursop, ripe on the tree, you know, man. Nothing like something ripen on the tree, you know.
Yeah.
And we will always make juice with it. You go in your bath and a condensed milk. Or you make ice cream on Sunday.
Barbadine was another big thing, eh?
But this soursop has turned out to be such a prize fruit for cancer and all that, you know, particularly here for cancer. And therefore, that's when its price went up.
Right. So what's up?
Delicious. Made with love.
I was wondering what we were going to have on this date for dessert.
Natural, all natural.
I was thinking of, you know what they will offer you in a restaurant would be, what do you call that stuff again?
Cream caramel or
Cream caramel, okay.
cheesecake.
But this is far better.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so back to the sorry business.
So, sorry business.
Very important. If your children grow up hearing their dad say he's sorry when he did something that was not right, or their mom saying sorry to their dad, or anyone whom they might offend, their siblings. If a child hear that, saying they're sorry, it will become part of their lifestyle. And nobody will have to tell you to say you're sorry. Nobody should have to tell anybody to say they're sorry, because for themselves, they should know if they were, especially if they were pointed out and said, you have done X, Y, or Z.
Well, the reproof is also important how it's done. Because, I mean, if somebody feels very justified that, hey, you ought to be saying sorry, and they come in a very cross manner, and they come in a very uncouth manner, and they say, listen, what you did there wasn't good at all, now you become the offender.
No.
How you handle it is very important also.
You mean if the person is demanding?
Yes.
I am talking first about the person recognizing that they did something wrong, and if pointed out in a nice manner.
This is what I'm talking about.
But if
In a good manner.
if it is done in an aggressive manner, you're gonna get a bad reaction.
Right. So we're coming back to that place now.
It all depends on how you do it. As they always say, not what you say, it's how you say it. How you say it, how you do it.
But you know, one of the things that perhaps causes people not to say sorry is an element of pride, you know.
Of course it is.
An element of pride.
Absolutely. Pride prevents you from apologizing because you don't want to accept you're the wrong one.
Yes. And I say a lot of marriages simply need, I am sorry,
Yeah.
to move on, you know.
And let's work it out. Let's work it out. Yeah. But I have to admit also that some marriages has gone so far and so much under the bridge that it's absolutely
Well, you know, the
difficult.
The experts will tell you that such a marriage should involve marriage counselors.
That's right.
Marriage counselors will then come into play.
Because one of the things that both people have to recognize is that it takes you to make a marriage. You can't be, I alone can't take 100% blame
No.
for what has gone wrong, or you should not take 100% blame. One thing leads to another, and another leads to another.
That's right.
And one little issue, by not rectifying it and simply saying a simple sorry, has become, things keep building. And when there is a little issue, a little distrust, everything become very enlarged in your eyes.
Yeah, it's blown out of proportions.
Blown out of proportion. So, small things, if we deal with small things, then we can cross hurdles.
But you know, everybody has to be approachable.
Yeah,
You've got to be approachable if you want this thing to work.
yeah, exactly.
You know, parents have to be approachable for the kids.
Yeah,
The
and
kids have to
listen,
be-
man,
yeah.
as parents, sometimes you even have to say sorry to your kids, you know.
That's a good thing.
Because sometimes parents are so concerned about their child's welfare that they sometimes handle a situation very badly.
Yeah.
And it will be nothing to say when you reflect on your behavior towards your child to say, I am sorry for what I did.
Yeah, I want to see myself nearer.
Nearer.
You know, mommy, that's right. Oh yeah, thank you.
Join at the
Join on the shoulder.
join at the shoulders.
But to be approachable, that's the thing.
Yes.
To be approachable.
Approachable.
And another thing, Louise, I think our marriage has had, thank the Lord, we never slept. A little requirement is needed elsewhere. So thank you, folks, for being with us, and hope you enjoyed our Saturday lunch too.
Okay, bye-bye.